Well, the San Andreas Fault runs right up the spine of California. It's the demarcation line between two tectonic plates that are constantly moving, and we're about 100 years overdue. I'd say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
A massive fault line in California has scientists sounding the horn over an expected major earthquake.
This fault line historically has been shown to shift massively every 140 years.
The southern part of the San Andreas Fault is actually a mystery to us because it's hardly having any seismic activity at all compared to the surrounding regions. When seismologists or geologists looked at this region, they said that we're about at least 100 years overdue. Previously, we'd have a large earthquake on the San Andreas, wait about 180 years, large earthquake, 180 years, large earthquake, etc. And now it's been 300 years since the last big earthquake. And what we want to ask is why. The Salton Trough is a region that's filled primarily with sediments, and those sediments were brought in primarily from the Colorado River. What happened is the Colorado River would flood the region and then secede, flood the region and then secede. That happened at least 4 times since 800 AD. When Colorado River flooded, it would make Lake Bahia. It was very, very, very large. It was probably 6 times larger than the current Salton Sea that we have today. And it reached down to a depth of about 100 meters, much deeper than today's San Francisco Bay. Basically, the Salton Sea today is a puddle compared to what was there before. Lake Bahia floods, we have that large amount of water sitting on top of these faults. It's exerting pressure, it's exerting stresses. Previously, we thought that the faults were just kind of a vertical curtain. But what we learned is the faults are not vertical, they're dipping. And the main game changer was that we found that the faults beneath the current day Salton Sea orient perpendicular to the San Andreas Fault. And now that we know the orientation of those faults, we know that that lake load could actually trigger the faults beneath the sea, and those in turn trigger the San Andreas Fault. Because we no longer have that lake load, that's out of the equation. So what we think has happened is that the repeat time of large earthquakes on the San Andreas has been reset. Major finding completely changed the way we thought about the region. When do we think the next large earthquake will occur? The problem with that question is I like to have large uncertainties, and I would say that we're definitely going to have a large earthquake on the southern San Andreas Fault, but the uncertainty is going to be plus or minus about 100 years. A lot of people are worried that the big one's coming means that we're going to have a magnitude 9 like Japan, and that's absolutely out of the question. We just do not have the fault area for that big of a rupture. Because the faults in California are so shallow, we can't get over magnitude 8 in Southern California. The max cap that I would put on an earthquake in Southern California would be a 7.8 to 7.7. If we had a 7.5 or larger quake on the southern San Andreas, we would see a lot of damage. More than likely, our technology we would take away. The water mains might go down, so now we're lacking technology, we're lacking water mains, and we're going to have trouble with having the emergency responders speak to each other and speak to us. But to practice for that, we've started the Great California Shakeout. We've had, I believe it's 9.8 million people participate in that last year. So the trick is to be prepared and not scared of these earthquakes.